Alright, and we're back. I feel like I've been stopping and starting streams all day. It's probably the multicasting. I get it. Alright, can we do let's do a fun flight maybe. We flew in here once. I don't think a little Cessna's gonna make it from Hawaii to California. Coldstone is forever stuck in Tampa. Although a Tampa flight could be fun. I could fly out of St. Pete. Albert Wooded, which flew into multiple times. I ran an ad. Why does it want to run another one? Well, ad's coming in about 4 minutes. Maybe I'll check to see if anybody wants to play Fortnite. Alright, so we're gonna go cold and dark. Ramp 26 parking. Yeah, this. I gotta switch controllers. This is bad. Alright, so we're going to go ramp 26 is our departure, and we are going to fly into... I'd like to get to Orlando. Orlando Executive would be great. That's where Ludix flies into, if you guys have ever seen his content. I'm sure you haven't, but he is a CFI that I like to watch. It's about a 44-minute flight in a Cessna 172. That should be perfect. We're actually going to change the flight conditions. We'll do middle of the day. Now, what I would like to do, it'd be cool if I could share the screen. I bet I can do that. Give me 1 second. Alright, we'll do... We're gonna add a layer. We got wind at 110 degrees at 10 knots. That's not too bad. Attempting to do here is I'm attempting to share my screen so I can show you how you can kind of flight plan a little bit. So, give me 1 second. If the screen goes black, that's why. This is totally going to break the thing. That's okay. We'll put this up here, and that should be fine for now. All right. So we're going to go to flight plan. All right. Our departure is KSPG, and our destination is Orlando Executive. Okay. So that'll give us a straight on. And this is what we call a sectional chart. It looks super confusing, but it's actually not too bad once you get into it. So this is our route here. So what I would do, you're never really going to get a straight on flight in VFR unless the conditions are perfect. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yes, you can. And I dare say I'm the only streamer doing flight simulator while showing you sectional charts. Okay? So if anybody has any questions, let me know. All right, so our heading is going to be 61 degrees. The flight is going to be 83 nautical miles, which makes sense. It's going to be under an hour, which is perfect. Look, if you look at and this is how great Flight Simulator is. I don't know if you can see it. You can see it. It's 83 nautical miles on here as well. So it's pretty accurate. Right, so honestly, man, I wish my computer was better. It's really chugging. It's trying. All right, I'm trying here. I'm trying to switch these, but it's not liking it. So let's go back to this, which is a screen share. It's gonna kill it. Are you gonna work? Okay, there it is. Cool. So it's 83 nautical miles. It's a straight shot. It looks identical to what we're seeing on the flight simulator, right? I'm not sure. That's a security zone over Disney World, so you're not really allowed to fly over that. So we are going to deviate like we would in real life. Even though this is a game, we are going to deviate. So we are going to, we're going to add this that should go around it. What is this? Lake Hiawassee? We should be able to find that somewhere. Where's Lake Apopka? Honestly, this is VFR Direct. Lake Apopka is just to the left of Orlando Executive. I'm having trouble finding it, actually. That's where we're flying. Lake Apopka. Paradise Landing. We're gonna have to deviate from Disney World, which is not showing up currently. Hey, Dylan, what's up? I'm currently trying to figure out this flight plan. I am wondering if Orlando Executive might be. Oh, there's Lake Apopka. Yeah, just the biggest lake. Okay. So I'm trying to match the sectional here because we're not zoomed in enough. So Disney is to the south of that. It's over here somewhere. So we could fly over Disney if I could find it. I don't want to fly around it because it's a restricted zone. Yeah, I thought I was screen sharing, but I guess I'm not. Can you see what I'm seeing? Trying to figure that out. Damn it. All right, let's see. You can see this, but you can't see. All right, let me refresh this. I know this is super riveting content right now. Is it working? That's Orlando Executive. It's Class C airspace. That is ADS-B Vale. Lake Apopka. I could reroute to Lake Apopka. We're going to add this as a stop, and then we'll go KORL. Actually, we'll go. Can we add this? That should get us around. That should get us around the Disney airspace. And this is news for me. I had no idea that Disney, you could not fly over Disney, and I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm just not seeing it here on. Well, that guy's flying over the airspace. I'm just not seeing it here currently on the sectional. Let's see. I'm gonna zoom in as much as possible. Yeah, it is right under. Lake Apopka. It's not saying it's Lake Apopka, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Yeah. And it's right below that. Why am I struggling to find this? I'm just kind of curious because I was hoping to show you guys. Akoi. Man, that's going to bug me. According to the sectional, it's right there. But, alright. This is not the most riveting of content, so we are going to go ahead and go back to the main screen. So, here's the flight plan. Just because according to SkyVector, the airspace over Disney World is a no-fly zone. So we are rerouting. We're going to fly over Briley Farm, and we're going to get into Orlando Executive. Disney is somewhere down here. I wish I could find it. I know it's at least Epcot sits on one of these lakes, but I'm struggling to find it at the moment. I know it's by Winter Garden. I drove there a million times and just can't remember exactly how to get there. But anyway, this is about flying and not about looking at maps. So we have our flight plan. It's going to take a little bit longer now that we're diverting a little bit. That's fine. It'll probably take a little bit longer too, just because once I get clearance, I'm not going to be able to just fly straight into runway 07. And I already lost a viewer, so we're going to go ahead and start. So, because I'm playing on a simulator, I've changed the weather to be more favorable. But what you would do prior to a flight is you would look up, first of all, you would call a weather briefing service and get a weather brief. You would look it up yourself, and you would understand the ins and outs of the weather wherever you were going to go. So it's still dark out, which is odd because I thought I changed it, but we're going to change it back. We're going to change it to middle of the day. So we have the weather. Well, we don't have the weather. That's one of the things you do once you get the plane started up. So we're going to go into the checklist, and this is super interesting. So aircraft documents. You need to have your airworthiness certificate, which the game is not going to show. It'll be somewhere in here, or it's got to be displayed, obviously. You have to be able to find it easily. Airworthiness, you have to be able to find your registration, operator's manual, and your weight and balance, which we don't have to worry about because this is a game. So we'll just say we got all that. The parking brake is set. It's always set. Ignition is off. Avionics bus 1 and 2 are off. Master switch alt and bat. We're going to go ahead and turn on. We're going to go ahead and hide the yoke. So this here is our PFD. Now that is on. So we're going to take that. Fuel quantity. See that here? That is reading correctly. Low fuel left and right. Those are left and right tanks for the fuel. check off. Yeah, those are off. That's just to make sure that you have enough fuel. Oil pressure annunciator, that is on right here. You can see that here. Low vacuum is in the same spot, so we can check that is on. Avionics switch bus 1. We're going to turn the volume up here. And if you listen closely, you should be able to hear it. So it's on, fan is heard, we turn that off. Bus 2. I've never been able to hear this one in this simulator. You test the pitot heat, but I don't know how you check if it's working. Maybe eventually an actual CFI could tell me. Low volts annunciator is on. That's because we don't have the standby bat on, and we don't have the avionics on. And honestly, that's not the reason. It's because the engine isn't running, and when the engine's not running, it's not charging the battery. All right, so those go off. We're cold and dark again. Elevator trim down here is on takeoff position. Fuel selector is here. It's on both. So we're good there. Static source is off. And any CFIs or anybody that's been flying for a while, you can obviously come through here and correct me. I'm a student pilot. I'm learning. But I do think this is a great way to, I wouldn't say stay current, but just stay knowledgeable, stay in the rhythm of what you're supposed to do when you do flights. All right, seatbelts adjusted and locked. We're going to assume that's the case because this is a simulator. Brakes. Tested and set, I guess. Circuit breakers, all these down here are pushed. If they weren't, they would be out, and you'd be able to see that they were out. So we're good. Electrical equipment is off. Avionics are off. Fuel selector has been on both for a while. Fuel shutoff valve is open. And we are good. So we can start the engine. Mixture, idle cutoff. Here's our mixture. We're going to pull it to cutoff. And we're going to go to standby bat switch. So we're going to test that for 20 seconds. This is just a rough, estimate of 20 seconds. You hold it, that light is green, as long as it's not flickering or anything, then you're probably good. Again, a CFI could correct me on this. I am a student pilot. This is just for entertainment purposes. Okay, so we'll arm that. PFD is on. Engine indicating system is on. Bus evolts, so this is where we have to zoom in. If my controller worked, which it does not. Bus evolts 24, it's over 24. M bus volts under 1.5. BAT-S amps, there's a discharge, yes. Standby BAT annunciator. We can see that on the right of the PFD there. Good. Propeller area, and this is the fun part. You yell clear. You would open up the window and yell clear. Everything's clear aside from this guy who is useless right now. Just kidding. I love you. You're very helpful sometimes. Alright, we're going to turn Alt and BAT on. Beacon. These are lights, beacon on, landing lights, taxi, nav, strobe, all on. Mixture full rich. You shouldn't power through a checklist like I just did. Fuel pump. 4 seconds is usually what I like. Mixture. Now it doesn't say idle cutoff, so we're gonna do lean, which I like to be in like the 10 to 20% range. Feet. I think my feet are ready to break. Are they? Ignition. And we're gonna start it. Start the engine up. All right, we got a good start. And our mixture is rich. Man, Dylan, you're banning people left and right. I love it. All right, after starting engine, we're gonna adjust our throttle to a 1,000 RPM. It's at 1,300 actually, which is not great. So you can see on the PFD there the RPMs. Ooh, 1,000 on the dot. Our oil pressure is good. It's in the green. Our amps are good. Low volts annunciator is off. Avionics bus 1 and bus 2 need to be on. Oops. And our flaps need to be up. Our flaps are over here, which I need to get rid of this yoke. Flaps are up. Will be once in a while. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I would check the users in chat every once in a while and see that there would be people in there. I would only really ever concern myself with ones that would get into the comments and be like, "Hey, check out this link," or "You need overlays? I'm a graphic designer," or anything like that. So I just kind of ignored those other ones. I didn't know that it was a good idea to ban them. But I appreciate it, Dylan. Seriously. We got our taxi light on. We've got our landing light on. Strobe is on. Nav light is on. Parking brake released. All right, this is where we test the brakes and the rudder. Brakes are good. Let me see if I can get my controller to work. All right, so in this situation, we're just going to test the rudder this way. See on the back of the plane, that's your rudder. It's free and clear. We're good. I appreciate it, man. No pressure, though. No biggie. I always appreciate you being here. That's kind of why I decided to mod you. I know in the past, I don't know if you asked or other people asked to be mods or whatever, and I just thought it would be a good idea since you've always been the one that has been here the most. Okay, so at this point, my Rainmaker chatbot is a little aggressive, but that's cool. Also, is the text-to-speech thing working? Anyway, at this point, we're going to go to... Now, the game makes this super easy. Actually, we're going to turn on the MFD here so we can get a bird's eye view of what's going on. But the game makes it super easy because they'll auto-tune. If you go to your ATC here, they will auto-tune to ATIS. But In real life, obviously, that's not the way it works. So let me switch back. I'm going to do a screen share. So we're going to switch back to this. And this is what every pilot does. There's an app called Fortnite that makes it super easy. It's very expensive though. So this is where we're flying out of, right? So we can go to the airport diagram. And that'll give us an idea of the taxiways and the runways. That's going to be helpful. I actually don't see an airport. Actually don't see an airport. Oh, here we go. So this is what we're looking for. ASOS. That is your automated weather service. It's going to be just a recording they do every so often. There's the tower frequencies here as well, and ground control. So ASIS is 118.875, which you can see here if I go back to the game, is already like auto-populated in ATC communications. But because we actually want to fly and we're trying to stay a little bit proficient, we are going to actually dial that in ourselves so it doesn't do it automatically. So 118.875. Now once we do this, we're going to have to switch the comm frequency. And look at that. So we're in VFR conditions, which is visual flight rules. So we got our altimeter setting. So we're going to change our baro to 3003. So wind isn't bad. Visibility's great. Scattered clouds is fine. We're not going up to 14,000. I can't remember. So it's not giving us sky conditions. I wonder if this is an untowered airport. Although there's tower and ground control, so that's not the case. All right, so we got the weather. And so we can see from this chart that ground control is 121.8, and that's what we got to do next. Okay, we're going to switch over to that. I couldn't tell what the code was for the weather. It might have been Zulu. Okay, so we know that we're at the parking close to runway 2, 5, and 7, right? So we're probably going to depart from runway 7. We want to depart to the north. So we're going to request that from ATC. All right, so we're gonna Charlie cross runway 7 back to taxiway B, contact tower 127.4. This is kind of where the airport diagram does not help. So we need to be like over there. So we're gonna take the parking brake off. We're actually going to request a pushback because I don't want to kill this guy. Alright, so he's going to push us back a bit eventually. We are going to go up Charlie. I don't know why we're crossing the runway. Hold short runway 7 via taxiway C, cross runway 7 to B. Maybe because we're a smaller aircraft. Did not mean to hit that. So some of these ground control people, especially with bigger aircraft, they can plug straight into the plane. This actually worked out, actually. And so they can hear the pilot talking. We're gonna get moving. So this is, I'm guessing this is taxiway Charlie. We're gonna get off of the actual roadway here. I think this is what I want. I mean, this is runway 7 right here. There's only one runway. We're just gonna hit the Vazzies. Oh, I see. Okay. So they want me to, I believe they want me to cross the runway over here. Get to taxiway B and then get back to 7. I could be wrong. With this stick drift, this is like freaking impossible. Alright, we're actually on taxiway A, which is not great, but As long as we depart from where we're supposed to go, I think we're okay. Oh, you know what? I am in the wrong spot. I'm totally in the wrong spot, actually. So we're gonna turn around. We are gonna go back because we need to go that way, which is towards Orlando. We got to get over that St. Pete inlet there. I can't think of the name. So there was B. I just passed it. This controller is not good. I'm going way too fast on the taxiway, by the way. We'll just blame it on the wind. All right, here's our hold short here. I actually think I'm in the right spot. All right, we'll treat this as a as the run-up area. Really hope the FAA isn't watching this. All right, so our parking brake is set. Seats back, most upright position. Seatbelt secure, doors closed and locked. Flight controls, which we can't see right now because I hid them. We'll just assume they're free and correct. Flight instruments, no red X's. I already set the altimeter per the weather report. Standby altimeter, correct and set. Altitude select. I guess we can do that. It'll be over here, I think. It's the heading. Selected altitude. I don't think we need to get very high. We're going to do like 9,000. We'll see though. Actually, this is where it's important to look at the sky vector. Because I do believe that we are going to be in Class B airspace over Tampa. Yeah, so Tampa is Class B airspace. So we are going to have to transition into Class B, which is fine. We're not going to get up to 10,000 feet, so we'll have to talk to Tampa when we're up there. Standby flight instruments good. Fuel quantity indicators are good. Mixture is rich. Full rich, yes. Fuel selector is on both. I never changed that. Autopilot, I guess we can engage that. It's going to want me to move against it. There it goes. Flight director is off. Elevator trim set for takeoff. Throttle 1800. Alright, so now we're going to go back to clearance. So, where do we find out about clearance? Where to tune for clearance, ladies and gentlemen? Right. We go to the airport diagram, which will give us the frequency we need to be on. This is the frequency. God, I can't talk. Frequency we need to be on. 257.6 is for military. 127.4 is what we need to be on for the tower. 127.4. I know this probably isn't interesting to a lot of people, but this is really interesting to me. I'm already on 127.4. All right, we are cleared. Sorry, I've not been switching. We are going to get to use a little bit of autopilot here, because normally I've only been doing yeah, I know, cleared. Normally I've just been doing touch and goes. So to do an actual flight, this is going to be fun. So if anybody in the comments can tell me what those arrows on the runway mean, bonus points. Honestly, I can't remember what they're called, but I know you can't land there. You have to land past those arrows. All right, so we're gonna go full beans here, full RPMs. We're gonna fight the wind and possible stick drift till we hit VR. VR has been achieved.
Stall.
So we are up in the air, finally, right? We're gonna climb at VY, which is best rate of climb. All right, like I said, we're going to climb to about 9,000. So we're going to try and keep it in that VY as much as I can with this busted controller. But if we look outside, it's a beautiful day in St. Pete today. Used to live here, really miss it. And we're turning somehow. We used to live somewhere out there in the middle. I'd fly over it, but we're on a mission to get to Orlando. And what did we say? According to SkyVector, we want to be on a heading of 161. And that's right about where we're at right now. And if I could keep the plane straight and level. We are getting a bit of wind, which is interesting. So at about 2,000 feet now. Like I said, beautiful day here. We're gonna keep climbing. We don't need to get too high because this flight shouldn't take too long. From St. Pete to Orlando, it would take us about 2 hours in a car, so it should be shorter. Of course, you want to hit your cruising altitude, but you don't want to get too high that you have to like race to get down. So we're gonna tune to Tampa approach because we're transitioning to Class B airspace. And if they did not give us clearance, we'd have to go around the Class B airspace, or we would have to fly under it, which is not possible because their Class B is surface to, I can't remember. So we're going to squawk 5761. So they've acknowledged us. We're cleared through the Bravo airspace. I'm gonna attempt to get us back on course here, as we are about to fly over Tampa. I actually don't think we need to be at 9,000 feet, but we're gonna get high enough. Howard Johnson Bridge, or I think it's the Howard Johnson Bridge. Honestly, I can't wait to do this in real life. I can't friggin' wait. And you can see on the MFD here on the right that we are still in Bravo airspace. Actually, I think that checkered one is Class C. Or no, checkered is Class D. But we're still within the bounds of Class B airspace, so we have to just stay in contact with Tampa until we transition out of Class B. And what I'm kind of hoping with, again, any CFI or anybody with more flight experience can correct me on a lot of this shit. I'm still a student pilot, but what I'm hoping with the 2024 flight simulator that's coming out, I'm really hoping, I doubt it, but I'm hoping, my fingers are crossed, that if you have a mic plugged in with AI, you can talk to ATC. I think that would be super helpful for student pilots. Because it's helpful to know. I don't know why I'm supposed to contact Tampa approach, maybe because I'm so low. But I'm hoping that you can talk to ATC, and it'll understand what you're saying. Because it's okay to, continue. The baro changed, so we're going to change that. We might turn autopilot on for now while I'm talking. Okay. Something's weird. Something's off. Um, yes, I did. I don't know why autopilot is doing that. Maybe I didn't file it into the actual autopilot. This would be easier to do in the air, but we're going to turn flight director off and autopilot on. Now autopilot's on. Okay, so we're headed where we're supposed to be going, but we're a little off course. What's nice about playing on PC is you can download all this stuff that they have people that want to be air traffic control people, and they will get on and do like air traffic control for airports. And then you can play with actual people, and you can hear like when you're in the vicinity, you can hear that stuff, but you can't do that on Xbox. It's unfortunate. So right now, I mean, we're sort of on course. Do we need to intercept the actual course? I don't think so. I think eventually we will. But again, like I said, I don't want to hit that restricted Disney airspace, even though this is a game and it doesn't really matter. So while we're on autopilot, I'm just gonna run a quick ad, and I'll be back.
Dead air. 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 Dead air.
All right, we're back. Every time I step away, I gain a viewer. Weird. All right, so we're about 3,500 feet. Still about 60 nautical miles away. But I mean, look at the scenery. How cool is this? We should eventually intercept. We should eventually intercept the navigation. Never contacted Tampa Approach. They're going to be like, why are you contacting us now? Arrow keeps changing. All right, who's in here? Is this completely boring? Does anybody want context or anything? Do you want me to play something else? I mean, I can do that. Oh, you didn't miss much, Dylan. I mean, I started the plane. I did from cold and dark. I did miss the correct taxiway, but I eventually figured it out. I drove through some grass, but now we're on our way to Orlando Executive from Tampa. And the most exciting thing, I guess, is going to be avoiding the restricted Disney airspace, which I have up here, which is super riveting, I'm sure. But it's interesting to me. I was saying earlier, I don't know how many small streamers are doing actual flight plans, but I might be the only one. My light stream isn't working. Damn it. Close some of this other shit that's hogging up my RAM. There we go. Ugh, come on. I do have some time to just chat too while I'm sitting here in autopilot on my way to Orlando. So, I don't know when my cam cut off. All right, we're back. Anyway, what I was saying was, if you couldn't tell, I am I'm training to become a pilot, which is why I enjoy playing this game so much. And part of that training is going to be teaching other people how to fly. So this is kind of a good segue to be able to do that. I mean, obviously it's going to be totally different when I'm actually flying, but I enjoy it. I think it's fun. You went on a plane for the first time in November 2022, like a commercial flight. I'm assuming commercial flight. I always loved flying. Oh, to Vegas, nice. I would love to go to Vegas. Yeah, I always enjoyed flying. The first time I went on a flight, I was in college. My brother lived in Oregon, and he bought me a ticket to go out there, and I'd never flown before. But like, I didn't really have any nerves about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that just don't think about it because there's a lot of people that are nervous flyers. Um, but yeah, I didn't even think about it. I just kind of assumed it was safe. I mean, it was nerve wracking just because I was going to be in a new city and all that, but I've loved flying ever since. Every flight I'm ever on, like I want to be by the window so I can like see outside, and I'd always thought like in the back of my mind I would love to fly. I would love to be a pilot. I just didn't think it was feasible. I never looked into like what it would take to actually be a pilot. And it's pretty feasible. How did you like Vegas? Oh, you're scared of heights. It's weird for me because I like in certain situations I'm scared of heights. Like I've driven through like up mountain slopes and stuff, like small highways to get up mountains, and that for some reason that freaks me out. But flying doesn't for some reason, and I don't know what it is. There's something really cool about it, like being up in the air and having that perspective. My my brother, his wife, and their family, they loved Vegas. They loved it. They actually during COVID, I think they went out there and stayed for like 6 months. I would love to go out there. Um, yeah, there's something about being on a plane, especially a commercial flight. Like it's the safest form of transportation. So I was never worried about it. But my wife, when we first got married, she was super nervous about it. Um, but the more we did it, the um, the less scared she got. But if we went like for several months without being on a plane, then she would get nervous again. But there's something about like I never got nervous with flying. I did a in November I did a discovery flight or an admissions flight with a flight school, and it was a small plane like I'm flying now, and we got up there. I wasn't nervous at all. I don't know why. I mean, I mean, I don't think that makes me special or anything like that. But I think a lot of people would get nervous in a small plane like that. I did get to fly for a bit, which was cool. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So for my start date, like in 2 years, I could be a commercial pilot, but I could also go like the contract pilot route. I could do what do they call it? A corporate pilot. Oh, you gambled a little bit, huh? Yeah, I'm not much of a gambler. The problem is like I can tell how seductive it can be. Like I've been to casinos and stuff, and it's fun. It's fun to play a little bit here and there, but um, I can tell how seductive it is. Like I mean, I got DraftKings on my phone, and I've done some betting here and there. Like I put money down today, just a little bit, not a lot, um, on the Super Bowl, but that's about it. And when golf season comes around, I usually try and play a little bit, and gamble a little bit on golf. But I would still love to go to Vegas. I mean, there's good hiking there. There's great restaurants. Man, for a second there was a couple more viewers. They weren't interested, apparently. Maybe I need to do some more barrel rolls. What were you out there for? My wife and I are talking about going to Salt Lake City because the tickets are super cheap. We're trying to do something before I go to flight school. What would be cool sometime when I do this is to actually turn on the live ATC and show the live traffic when I'm doing this. Well, it would be cool for me. I don't know if anybody else would be interested, but because this game's pretty accurate with the live traffic. And this is actual Florida right here. This is what Florida actually looks like when you're in the middle of the state. Could not tell it apart from other states. Dylan, how did your streamathon go? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before I tried to like see if you were streaming and I couldn't. You weren't streaming when I looked it up. So I didn't know if I missed it or what. I did pull up the backlog to see. Man, the freaking thumbnails that YouTube decides to pull for these streams is hilarious. Alright, so we're about 30 nautical miles out. I'm watching the chat, Dylan, just in case you send something, but I am going to screen share here and figure out again restricted area, but I'm going up to Lake Apopka and then I'm going to come in. So there's the airport diagram that I'm looking for. So I'm probably, the hope is that I come in on runway 13. And we will get the ATIS here in a few. But we are still on, I think we're still on Tampa approach. Eventually, I would like to practice some IFR flights on here. It's not nearly as intimidating as actual IFR flights are. But I do need the airport code for Squawk VFR. I mean, so I'm squawking 1200, which is VFR. There's no point in tuning to Tampa approach like to tune to Orlando approach, honestly. Or at least tune to Orlando and get a VFR flight following. Come on. Come on, computer. You can do it. 118.45. Let me do it. Thank you. .3. That's not accurate, but we'll do it. All right. Far out. Dylan, when you comment, does the stream like speak it out loud? Because I haven't been listening. Squawk 0313. Oh, I was just asking. I thought I had like chat to speech, so anytime somebody chatted, it would say it out loud. But I don't know if it's working. Okay. So I squawked 0313 for anybody interested. And it changed right here. Essentially, that just sends that code to ATC so they know where you're at. Here from the viewer side. Okay. I have it on, but I don't know why it's not working. It's fine. Let me click on it and see. Yeah, no idea. Oh well. So anyway, Lab Quest, that's funny. Anyway, I squawk 0313. That way ATC knows where I'm at. So anytime I'm communicating with them, they know where I'm at in the sky, and they can vector me wherever they need me to be. Okay, yeah, no worries. I'll probably just be up in the sky, so I appreciate it. All right, keep that watchful eye. Not a whole lot happening here. I mean, I will be landing here shortly, so. We should be coming up on Disney here shortly. I do remember driving past, Claremont. I've got a buddy that lives in Claremont, California. So I remember sending him texts like, hey, I'm driving past Claremont. See that wind pushing me to the right or to the left? Change our heading here. No, no, no. What's Orlando Executive? $118.7. All right, we'll be getting pretty close. Actually have the airport in sight. Sometimes these radio codes aren't accurate on the game. Nearest airports. That's what we want. It's KORL right there. How do we get there? There we go. I believe we wanted the 07 visual. Go ahead and do a straight in. I think we wanted 07, right? Yeah. Fuel is good. Oil pressure, oil temp is good. We love that. Fly straight in. Perfect. Right. Trying to figure out the minimum height I need. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't know. All right, we are going to slow down a bit. Fuel quantity is good. Everything else is looking good. We've got everything inputted into the GPS. So we are Gucci. Just gonna make sure we slow down enough to pull the flaps and all that noise. Slowing down a bit more. While we make this final approach, if you didn't know, I'm also simulcasting on YouTube. So if you follow the link in the chat, it'll take you to my YouTube channel. The lives are going to be pretty similar, but I plan on doing additional content in the YouTube space. So if you're interested in clips or anything like that, check out the YouTube. Subscribe if you want to. If not, no biggie. I guess I'm just here to bring you the greatest flying content. Trying to be as accurate as possible on controller. I don't have a PC. I don't have a I don't have an actual flight controls, but we're gonna do our best. And look at this. We are lined up just absolutely beautifully for this. Once we make this final turn, I'm actually gonna turn off autopilot. Clear to land runway 07, SysX 69er, 69er. Wait, are we actually crabbing? We are actually crabbing. Oh, okay, this is gonna be tough. All right, here we go. Autopilot off. Bring that airspeed down. The rudder controls are very touchy. Bring in that first notch of flaps. So you can see over here, there's downtown Orlando. Flight director actually helping? Question mark. Wind not helping? Exclamation point. We're on final. A little bumpier than I expected. We aren't crabbing, but we're in the wind, so should slow us down a decent amount. It's funny, I watch the CFI flight instructor on YouTube, and this approach looks very, very familiar. He flies out of this airport quite frequently. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Would not have expected this wind. It's actually not bad now that we're lower. I take that back. Not my best landing. We're on the runway, sort of. You can't grease them all, I guess. Ah. Fucking idiot. God. Alright, I give that landing a 4 out of 10. This looks like general aviation, right? Nobody's out here flying today, apparently.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Alright, here we go. Lights off. Avionics off. Throttle. I meant to cut it off, but I increased it. So, off. Make sure full rich. Flaps are up. Pitot heat is off, 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 off. Avionics off. Standby bat off. Turn the engine off. Batteries off. Successful. Successful flight from St. Pete to Orlando Executive. Now, if you'd like to see a longer flight, let me know. I can fly the Cessna Citation CJ4. Citation Jet 4. That's what the CJ4 stands for. Got a weather pattern coming through. Always interesting. So let me know. I'm going to run an ad. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Dead air. 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 Dead air.
Okay, well, I didn't realize how late it was. So I'm gonna sign off for the night. But I appreciate everybody stopping by. Dylan, as always, I appreciate you stopping by. I'm sure you shut off my stream because of my away overlay. Oh, maybe you didn't. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off for the night. You have a great night. If you're streaming, hope you have a good stream. Appreciate you coming through and blocking all those bots. But I should be on streaming the next couple days, so looking forward to it. Looking forward to chatting with you, Dylan. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me tonight.